Start.
Hello and welcome to episode 451 of 10 o'clock. I am MDRLOz. This is Xeno.
Yo.
Not a skeleton. He's a hellion. Needs more yellion. Can't beat Kellyan.
What the hell's a Kellyan?
I have no idea. Anyway, we are here to mumble along about Warframe for another probably 2 hours. And thank you everyone for coming to episode 451. I don't know why, but I suppose 450 was a big number, but 451 is a bigger number, therefore it's just as important. Right, we will begin every episode, like we always do, with me pushing this button here. And there we have some emblems. And Here we have Xeno's find and Loz's find. These are emblems we've found off players in-game. I do believe Xeno has won this one with the weird D&D paper doll D20 critical chaos man.
I kind of want to say I like yours more because it actually has a lotus symbol in it.
Yes, but yours has a dice.
Actually. Oh, geometric shapes. Very difficult.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Different
I don't like the quality of mine. It's hard to see on that image, but the zoom in, it's not that great. Yours, I feel yours was more ambitious, and at the same time, I do appreciate any emblem which has a lot going on, yet at the same time never makes you feel like it's trapped within a box.
Fair.
You know, they touch right to the edge, but they it feels more open and amazing. So yeah. However, if you at home would like to, hang on, I need to get the meme up. It's very important that I get the right meme. No, not that one. Not that one. There we go. Let's put these emblems away. Right, if you at home would like to be in a chance to win 75 platinum, please go into the description of this video where you will find a link to a Google form. You must fill in this form with lots of key information, including your in-game alias for Warframe and which platform you are playing on and wish to win a chance to win 75 platinum on. We give out 4 gifts a time, which is obviously for the 4 platforms that you play on. So whichever platform you play on, that's the one you get a chance to win. Please make sure you get the details right. I know we may be redundantly saying this continuously, but the amount of times we go, DE, please give money to Zaffenfrach. It's like, there is no Zaffenfrach. But they must win the platinum, and it's maybe because they misspelled, or maybe and thus the platinum just, I don't know if we re-roll it or it just goes to nowhere, but you'll miss out on platinum. So please make sure you get all your details correct when you fill in the form. And yeah, you'll be in for a chance. Do we have some winners to read out for this time, Xeno?
We do. So moving on to the Dojo Dusting.
Let me just push this button here. Oh no, I just get rid of my meme first. Get rid of the meme. Then push the button. There we go.
The button.
Right.
So
we supposed to play the game. Oh yeah, let's play the game while we're talking. Let's go.
Okay, so first off, for everyone's benefit, Loz is currently halfway through the new war. He was re-recording it for his own nefarious needs, and forgot to finish it before we started 10 o'clock.
Yeah, it takes forever. I'm probably doing this wrong. Oh yeah, yep. Oh, this is gonna be hell with that sound.
Okay.
Oh well, we can just watch me failing at this for 2 hours. I'm not gonna do the optional ones. Right, keep going.
For 2 whole 2 hours.
Yep.
So there's that. We also have platinum winners. So for PC, we have Zrugal. For PlayStation, Sir Lockalot 94. For Xbox, Stormfist 101. And for Switch or Nintendo, we have Tucker Wins. Cool. So those are the winners. They do kind of sound similar to last week, but honestly, different people. Press number 8.
Oh, I didn't see that. He's pretty fine with it.
He's pretty fine with it?
I don't know. What's he doing? Oh, there's a dude.
There's a dude.
I'm just going to go over here now. I didn't see the push 8 thing. Yeah. How not to play New War. I was seriously doing fine when I first played it. I was recording up until here, and I'm like, I'm going to go to bed here because I remember this bit being annoying. And like, yeah. Okay, there's a consuit. Let's try again. Yep, keep going. Oh,
that is it for Dojo Dusting. I can't think of anything else. So should we move on to the war report?
Yay! Let me go hide somewhere before I can push a button. Fly into the space. There we go. Ouch, that hurt. Right, buttons. There we go. Woo!
Right. So Warframe currently has Barrow. So last week they started doing this whole synchronized cross platforms shenanigans, which is it's leading to the whole crossplay situation, but it doesn't sound nearly as interesting as genuinely it could be. But one thing that is interesting is he's brought in a bunch of new cosmetics, new items, and stuff that is available for the next 3 rotations of Barrow. Right. So I've had a look at it. Some of it's actually pretty cool. And I do not have nearly enough. Oh God, what's the name of the damn I don't have nearly enough. What don't I have nearly enough?
Doubloons!
Doubloons. I don't have nearly enough doubloons, but I don't have to worry. I can spend the next 2 weeks, or sorry, 4 weeks, what's it called, getting enough to buy them again. So
is it new stuff?
There is 11 new items, and I think there's one peculiar mod in there.
Oh.
But so basically it's a bit weird. I didn't opt for it this time, but effectively it's the Skitter Girl sound effect. So when you kill stuff, there's a chance you'll hear a Skitter Girl in the distance.
I
still
want to see
want
the Skitter Girl.
Because you haven't done Void Flood?
Not enough, clearly.
Not enough, clearly. Right. Then we're going to move on to stuff for Soulframe. Not a great deal, but this week we had two concept pieces by Synchrosis or Kaz from DE. So this is the sword that featured in the reveal at TennoCon 2022. And we also have the next one, which was the mace. So both of these featured. Not a huge amount of news, but just something that's featured. And we shall put the links for both items in the description below. So there you go. Right. Should we move on to the topics? Cool. As you continue to sit there on a blimp. So the first topic is, dear DE, please stop being afraid to throw your players some real obstacles and enemies on their way. And the community concept is Rail Sinova Terminus Proxima, the trial. Okay, so going into the first topic.
Why do we have this blimp section?
Huh?
What is the point of this blimp section?
Well, we can't get to the Unum without it.
I'm just like, it's got any gameplay to it? Has it got a dodge? You got to be careful. You got to pass any you just float up, man. Just float up.
Yeah.
Where's the curious bureaucratic gameplay where I have to pass inspection? Also, by the way, the sentient fighters are amazing. Why don't we get to fight them in Railjack?
Fair. Fair point.
Let me just land. Bug. Yay!
Yeah.
Right. Now, you wanted topic one. There you go.
Cool. So, dear DE, please stop being afraid to throw your players some real obstacles and enemies on their way. I miss having to pay attention to what to shoot at, to the sound of the sounds of the game, or even the room I'm in. Everything is monotonous and mindless. I think that's what monotonous means. We need more mechanically difficult enemies. The Grenier Thumper is a great example because it's big and noisy, so easy to find, but also fast and heavy, so it's hard to sit in one space and spam. Not only does it have fairly obvious weak points, there's always one available no matter what angle it's at. The incorporation of challenging mechanics to the enemies and gameplay should be encouraged and not taken away. Some people are trying to equate this to the recent Xmas changes. I think the Xmases now are the exact opposite of what my ideal state of difficulty is. bullet sponges and invulnerability timers are not hard, just time consuming.
Whoa. Invulnerability timers?
I assume they mean the overguard thing that they have.
That is not an invulnerability timer.
Let's read through the whole thing first.
Okay.
So bullet sponges and invulnerability timers are not hard, just time consuming. Mechanically challenging enemies should require the attention and skill of players, not the numbers on their builds. So do you want to make your point first before I compare Thumpers and Xmas units?
Sorry, my brain just went to the fact that I remember when you suggested a really cool thing about like going up on different floors of the Unum, fighting difficulty as it goes up, and I was like, that would have been a cool game mode.
Yes, it would have.
It would have. So what did you want me to ask you to do properly?
No. Do you want to continue your feedback, or shall I talk about my comparison between Thumpers and Xmas units?
Oh, no. Oh, my point. That's not. They were saying invulnerability phases because of Overguard. That's not an invulnerability timer. Invulnerability timers did they use? What was the word?
They said timer. They did say timer.
Yeah. But it doesn't. If you don't do anything, it won't lose the Overguard.
Yeah.
That's not an invulnerability timer. It is down to your player and skill and combat and whatever you've brought to get through it. I'm shocked that that's like, oh, it's not like if it was that Xmas units had a, I don't know, 2-minute overguard window that absorbed 90% of the damage they were done for the first 2 minutes, so that they were, it was designed so you had to fight to really that would be a dragging out the fight, that they took like 99% less damage for the first 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes you could deal with them, so it'd be really hard for you to kill them in the first 2 minutes, then it just gets easier progressively. Yeah, that would be some form of vulnerability window or timer. They're not doing that at all. It's you have to put the output to reduce the shields. Okay, anyway, you go on.
So the comparison here saying that Thumpers are amazing versus the Xmas units, I disagree entirely, right? They are, if you want to compare the two, look at the energy draining Xmas units. Sorry, I can't remember their name off the top of my head.
Leech?
No, I don't think it's the Leech ones. Leech are specific to the infested. Is it parasitic? I can't remember what the damn thing's called. Regardless, it's the energy leeching ones. The point is that they have weak spots on their back that you have to break before you can actually kill the thing. Yeah. So how is this any different from a Thumper? Right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's the same.
It is the same.
So the comment here is weak. And also, I'm sorry, I hate the Thumpers. The Thumpers, in my eyes, are just giant bullet sponges, right? They are only made easy by the fact that what's the name of the damn things? AoE damage can easily be used to destroy the hind legs. The hind leg, if you're solo, the hind legs never face you.
Yeah, no, they won't openly expose themselves. You have to make an effort.
Yeah, but if you're in multiplayer, they're easy to do because someone will at least see the damn things. So I'm sorry, like this is, it's a matter of perspective. This is not challenge, right? I do not see this as challenge at all. What would you like to see as a challenging enemy?
I think they already have produced challenging enemies. We've had I like the Eidolons as a concept, but they just needed to do more with it, or come up with more. And the Exploiter, Profit Taker was. I want to see the things like Exploiters, Profit Taker, and Eidolons. They are what they need to do. They just haven't cracked it right for larger groups. Like, I want to see a Trial versus Profit Taker, but right, when you've got a giant robot, make it about the giant robot. It's the one thing that I really hate about the Profit Taker fight is that you're too busy. Oh, follow the light. What have I got out there or something?
Jump in.
Is it jump in? There we go. You're forever just dealing with, oh, there's enemies. Oh, there's this. Oh, it's like, you can't really take the time to like at a distance look at your enemy from above on a high plane and see the Profit Taker doing stuff. You're just forever, oh, there's enemies. Oh, they've got fluxuses. Oh, they're here. Oh, there's enemies everywhere. Oh, I'm being launched 10 miles away. It's just like, oh, just calm it down. Like, there's nothing wrong with it taking time, but be slow, and it builds up through the fight. They just always have to go full to start with. You attack an Eidolon, oh, it's spam everywhere. You know.
Yeah, I think this is why I like things like the Xmas units, because you do have to prioritize them.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think the new nastiest Xmas units in the game are the the leech ones, the actual leech ones that put areas on the floor that if you stand in, they just start destroying your health. Right?
Those ones, yeah.
Yeah, they put like a red aura on the floor, and if you stand in it, you're like, oh shoot, there goes my health. So yeah, I feel that I want to look at enemies more than just the bosses and things like that. I would like it if there are enemies, maybe like sentience or something. Though, I mean, what's the likelihood of us getting sentience? Let's say,
look, this is sentience. I mean, their base is like 5 of them. Are like, oh no,
the pipe dream, Loz. The pipe dream. They're bringing back sentience. The pipe dream, right? I would like a sentient that you have to maybe stab with your operator. Sorry, not stab with your operator. Stab with your warframe, like stab it with a sword and things to pin it down. Get out as your operator and then shoot it with your operator. Yes, you're pinning it down. Otherwise, if you're just doing it in your operator, the thing's constantly evading you, right? It's constantly keeping away from line of fire with your operator because the operator can hurt it.
I think they did. This is why I remember you were praising the Zeraman stuff earlier. It's why the Zeraman does good stuff with the... Which one is it where... Oh, you have to... I can't remember now. But rather than just pinning it down, what happens if, like here now, you see I'm having to chase this thing around the room.
Yeah.
Why not that you pin down the sentient, but then it shoots out several things. Your warframe has to pin down the main body. Like this, there's their body, and then you have to get out on your operator to go find the bits around the room that fly out when it's pinned down.
Sure. Yeah, I'm 100% down for that.
Rather than just you get out and shoot it, it's like you get out and have to do something, you know, to actually kill it. So it's like these ones, you pin it down, and then
maybe it detaches parts to remove its vulnerability, and then so you can't actually hurt it, and then that's where I'm completely 100% down for that. The point, but no matter what. Like, if you ask someone some basic arithmetic, right? At some point in time in their lives, they couldn't do that basic arithmetic. And it was through practice and perseverance that they were able to do it. So no matter what challenge we come up with, people will get used to it to the point of like, oh yeah, this isn't a challenge anymore. You need to introduce a new challenge. And that's good. That is genuinely good. But if people constantly shy away from something that's difficult, then you're never going to get challenged.
Yeah.
This is both as much DE's fault as it is the player base's fault.
Yes. Yeah. I think that was a great quote from, a decent quote from, I won't say great because it was from Trex, where'd that thing go? About... I've got 3 seconds. I can't even see. Oh, what's that in the middle? What's that? That's a Ropodobalist.
It is a Ropodobalist.
Where's he go? Yeah. Oh, not cool. Is it making Ropodobalist? I have to do this and check. That'd be cool. Maybe. Oh yeah, there goes another one. Didn't make it, but I thought they were dead.
There's a brilliant quote from Trex Paddock.
Oh, about that, like, people want the moon, and it's DE's responsibility not to give us the moon, but give us what we deserve or what we should really get out of the game, kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Everyone wants the moon for nothing.
Seriously, it is. Is it mass producing Ropodobalus? Is that?
I think it genuinely is.
We never fight millions of Ropodobalusts.
Man,
why don't we fight? Yeah.
Could you imagine if we had a Ropodobalist to fight on Railjack or with Railjack?
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
the fight would have to function differently from
Of
the
course.
Jupiter one. You know, maybe the railjack weapons are okay to just shoot it head on, but
Yeah, because well, it would make sense. Oh, what have I got to do here? I'm laser beaming things away. What was the first shoot over?
side.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Shoot the red things, Loz.
I'll shoot your red things. There you go. A shot of red thing. Happy now? Sorry, whatever. Okay, good boy. Okay. Oh, I got tap button. Why was my dope tap button? So you're saying,
Nothing.
so yeah, so I think, I mean, the Ropodopolis, you don't have railjack-sized guns with you. I mean, you've got the arc guns, but they're not, you know, so you're actually bringing heavy weapons. So it makes sense that you actually, that would be really cool, because it would show how the different weapons actually react in a different scenario, that you're actually able to bring bigger weapons to bear that you wouldn't have to fight it when you fought it in a different way. And it wouldn't be cool if they did it the other way around. That would be kind of cool, that you find an enemy that you have to fight, like, in Railjack, and you've got the bigger guns, and then later you're like, oh my god, how do I deal with this with just my Warframe weapons when I don't have my big guns? You see it the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
I'm down for that.
Yep.
So yeah,
Shall I tap? Shall I? Do you think I should? No?
I think we should go to the replies, unless you got anything else you want
to
to
Or should I tap? You don't think I should tap? No, mate.
No. I think we should. I mean, is there anything else that you want to see? Like, I actually like the Xmas units. I think the Xmas units.
I do as well. I do. I think that. Do you feel?
forward.
Okay, here's a question though. Do you feel that the Xmas units finally deliver on the mini boss concept that they originally pitched for them? Because that was the point. Mini boss. So what Xmas units were supposed to bring to the table is that whole Diablo feel of an enemy with prefixes, suffixes, whatever you want to say. That has it's like, oh, it's an enemy. Oh, I better deal with this differently and better. It's like a bit of a mini boss for this fight rather than just another enemy. You know. So that was the goal. And obviously the first few times did not do a good job of that. Boop.
Hear me out. I'm gonna say yes. Because with Diablo, there are a number of them that you can just ignore.
Yeah.
But there are some that you just can't ignore. And very much like the new implementation of the Xmas units is exactly the same. So if it was a case of in Diablo you had to be mindful of all of them, then the answer would be no. But you just don't. Like there's just some, it's just like whatever, I'm just gonna nuke you. Yeah. Right, but there's some I think it's the prismatic enemies in Diablo that you have to deal with quickly because they're just going to put like laser turrets around that just spin around and nuke you.
Yeah.
So
would you say but within Warframe do the Xmas units fulfill the mini boss concept?
Okay, within Warframe itself exclusively, no. There are too many that are too weak. Right, I want to beef up some of the other ones as well. The energy leech is great. The health leech is great. The shock one, I kind of feel that we can make the shock one a bit more threatening, only because we can destroy the shock orbs as they travel through the air. Let's make it so the shock orbs are a bit faster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just spice it up a little bit more, right? God, what else is there? What are the flame wave one, it's okay, but now that you can roll through it, it's kind of undermining it a bit. So that was, but it's where's the that's the example of 2+2, right? You know, you get used to it and there's no challenge to it anymore, right? So I've become learned in the ways of rolling, so maybe that one's fine. But there are just some. Wow! Did you actually get defeated?
No, I think it passed me. It just. I was just tapping just very lightly, and I was getting pushed towards Lotus, and I just let it get pushed all the way back, and it just auto completed it for me. It's like you're too much of an idiot to push accept. I assume that's what happened.
Wow.
This looks like
I
the
think
plot's.
it was.
Yeah.
The plot is progressing.
It's like, you're not clever enough to push a button.
Maybe the Lotus got tired. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, oh my god, they can't reach it. Fine. I love that that's actually a thing in that they programmed it if people were good enough to push a button many times.
Oh no, I am losing energy. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Sorry, that's hilarious. Yeah, okay. Should we move on to the replies?
Yeah, sure. No, I'm in a spaceship. Where have I got them? I have them there. Right. Let us look at the replies. That's the reason I left the game. I tried again these days, but to be honest, I don't feel... What? Oh, okay. I don't feel... That's the reason I left the game these days, because I don't feel incentive to play much more content with ugly AF characters. Lol, I will never get why all the NPC look like living diarrhea in this game. However, it's still that easy. Press 4 and wipe the map. Void dash is annoying now also, so yeah, I like mostly play 30 minutes max to get the hack and slash dopamine and go back to my other hobbies.
I want to ask a perplexing question.
A perplexing question? Boo. Perplexing.
When you were a kid,
yeah,
did you ever do a hobby that, you know, basically you were pushed into doing that you didn't enjoy?
I played the flute, and I kind of liked it. At times I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I do miss playing the flute. I was just, you know, when you're growing up, either you get into these things massively or you don't.
Yeah. And then, you know, so at some point in your life, did you ever turn around and say, like, I don't like this, but I'm still going to commit to it?
For a hobby?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. See, this is the thing I don't understand. I don't understand why people will continue to play a game that they don't like and they'll just continue to shit on it.
No.
Sorry. Not continue to shit on it. Sorry,
yes.
let me correct myself. They'll play it for 30 minutes and then just go play something else.
What killed all the Murexes? Lotus's Murex? Really?
Probably.
A Murex beats a Murex? That would make sense. Why can't they just crash their Murexes into her Murex?
Well, maybe she's got like a really tough Murex. Have you ever played Conkers when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one Conker's got to survive.
Yeah, but not against. Yeah, but eventually that Conker will lose through attrition. I think she because she's
if you cover it in glue.
No, I think so the plot here is that Lotus is just Rebecca with dev mode on, and so she just won. So that's what the plot of New War is that Lotus turns up and it's use the forward artillery to destroy the armor Murex. Okay, it's actually just Red playing dev mode.
The point is, the point I'm making is I don't understand the desire to play a game like Warframe when you don't enjoy it.
If you've gotten to the point that you see no redeeming feature in Warframe, and it has to be, you don't think it can improve, then maybe yeah. But remember what they said in the Final Fantasy Amazing presentation.
Mm-hmm.
That your players, it's like a town, and and the people who complain are the people who want it to do better. They want it to be good. If they didn't care, they'd just leave without saying anything.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. However, I do what you mean, that some people just seem to go beyond that point. They reach a sort of level of extreme vitriol, and then they don't realise that, well, at this point, the game can't change enough to meet what you want. It is time for you to move on.
Yeah. It's kind of like a poisonous relationship. You shouldn't continue to go through with it if you're not going to. I don't think you should be out in the. Never mind. I thought you were going direct. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to the next reply because we're just meandering around the same point.
This is why they're making Soul Frame. As much as I love Warframe, it just doesn't have the fundamentals to be a skill-based game. It might have the. I don't know, what am I doing? Use ships as debris cover. Am I supposed to go down there? Okay. Let's line that up. Okay. This is why I'm making Soul Frame. as long as I love Warframe, it just doesn't have the fundamentals to be a skill-based game. It might have at some point, I know, but it's dug too deep for that now. Rather than it's a numbers game.
I agree. I kind of feel like Steve wanted to hit the reset button. Steve wanted to take what he learned from Warframe and start again because you're going out in the sun, Loz.
I'm not. This is in the way between this giant celestial body and me. I've got this small rock. That's all I need.
Okay, sure. Anyway, so I think this is why Steve wants to go do Soulframe. Steve wants to do Soulframe because it's a reset button at giving him creative freedom to start again, take the lessons that he learned from Warframe, and avoid doing the things again. I think one of the biggest flaws within Warframe's design, though cool, and I think the player base loves the game for it, is the sheer mobility of the game, because it's so fast paced and things. The AI can't, the enemies can't keep up with us at all.
Yeah,
we're going like a mile a second, and it's just like, what?
Yeah,
Loz doesn't know how to fly.
I don't know how to fly. Got to repair a breach or something. Got to repair breach. Okay.
Yeah, repair that breach.
Repair the breach. Repair breach. Use ship debris as cover. Good.
Yep. Should we move on to the next one? Do you want me to read out the replies, considering you're trying so hard?
Yeah, I'm trying to dodge and fail ships.
Right. With the mass genocide Warframe has become, it would really be hard to do, though. Right now, you just need a weapon that will murder everything around you. With shields and arcane, you don't need to worry about many enemies that would normally knock you. Besides, you can clear it all by going into operator, I think. And like, again, I completely agree with this because, hell, just shields and arcanes, not even considering the survivability of some Warframes, right? Hell, what's her name? I think you get into the slingshot now.
Did you see if they fixed this bug?
What, that you couldn't get in it?
Let's see if it still says it.
Anywho.
Print screen that.
Yeah. Anywho. So yeah, it's extremely difficult for them to do.
Yeah. No, definitely. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Mods are still goofy. Which one are we on? Oh, yeah. Me, I was just reading that. Yeah, duh. Me, on the other hand, struggling to make it through half of Steel Path. Then again, this is my first year of playing Warframe. Mods are kind of goofy, in my opinion. But the grind to being OP is so ridiculous. And some of the mods I just got that were helping me were nerfed. Oh, what mods were those?
Well, I mean, yeah, it would be nice if they actually mentioned that. But at the same time, like, the grind to being OP is so ridiculous, I disagree entirely.
Even run's funny. Sorry, I just hate error so much.
Don't. Let's focus on
Gabe. Sorry, Gabe. Yes, sorry, Gabe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the mods are, but obviously they're still. Nah, it's hard. I wish this is the kind of person I'd love to hear more information from.
Yeah. And at the same time, do you want to become, like, what is a reasonable amount of time to become OP? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, becoming OP is not reasonable. I don't want to be overpowered. Why does anyone want to become overpowered?
Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe it's a case of the fact that you're after these OP nut mods is a big reason to why they've become nerfed.
True. But Warframe has always had a system where it's kind of like I can't remember the term. I remember X Credits back when they were good did a great term for it for League of Legends, like continually unbalanced or something, infinitely unbalanced or something. That the idea is that for all the heroes, that even if they put in a new hero that's completely OP, there's one hero that is always supposed to be the anti of it. So no matter the situation, there should always be a something that will beat it. You know, even if it's like a character which is like out of favor in general, this new character comes in, completely dominates everything that was the previous meta, but this really old character comes along and goes, hey, yeah, actually, but I'm really good at escaping their attacks and then debuffing them, which makes them really weak. You know, so and then they would always just keep changing it so that it'd be that kind of thing. And that's the kind of thing that was always supposed to be in Warframe, is that basically there's just different things at any time that are just the OP meta, and it always shifts. And I feel it's just been this bloody AoE one for too long, and also I feel an AoE one is just the worst idea ever. I mean, you remember we had like the Soma meta, the Bolter Prime meta.
Oh yeah.
The multiple times the shotgun meta, the multiple kit gun metas, the multiple pistol metas.
Yeah, Catch Moon. Yeah.
Yep.
Baruch. Korra.
Yeah, the exalted weapon meta.
Yep.
When he says no, I was gonna say when he says
Right,
it says eliminate resistance, I'm like, there's not really much resistance. It's just like you just
last one.
Okay.
I definitely don't enjoy the AoE Brahma Tsar meta. However, I feel like there's a point in playing Warframe to achieve a state where you can deal insane amounts of damage. I've recently pivoted to using the Fenmore. I don't know what the Fenmore is. While it still does melt level 300 plus enemies effortlessly, in its incarnate, okay, so it's one of the incarnate weapons. In its incarnate form, the form itself doesn't last super long at that level, and you still have to charge the form and pay attention to while you're doing so. Mechanics that work together, such as primers and slash CO weapons. I don't know what CO is. Weapon builds. Should try to be emphasized for a less boring, eye-hurting gameplay. I think they like. I feel they certainly need to get rid of this AoE meta.
Yeah,
right? The AoE meta is just hurting the game so bad. We've had it on for weeks now,
months.
Yeah, we've. Oh God, have we really spoken about it for months?
I think it has existed for months. We've only really been aware of it.
Oh yeah.
We're the last to hear of how games work.
Yes, we've been talking about it for weeks. It's come up nearly every week.
If it reaches us, you know it's time for it to die, because we're just
we're
very
much so.
I mean, Xeno's like, I have my Oberon and my Spore Laser, and then I'm like, I got an Opticore, yay! Yep. And those weapons are never meta. We never have meta. Well, I don't know. Is your Spore Laser meta?
Yeah,
is that a meta?
Spore Laser is meta. It is.
Is it AoE meta though?
It is AoE meta, and like I was fine with it until I put Prime Sure-Footed on.
Oh,
yeah. Now I never go down because what self-stagger?
That's not a thing. Well, actually, I got an interesting reply from someone explaining it about how you don't even need Prime Sure-Footed.
Okay.
There's basically there's an arcane that when you get a kill, it gives you an extra jump.
Right.
So you just float through the level, just constantly jumping.
That sounds like it's gonna break my space bar, and it's an expensive keyboard.
But then you aim glide. You aim glide, you jump. You aim glide, you jump. You aim glide, you jump.
Oh my lord, are you kidding?
So you just carpet bomb. You actually carpet bomb.
No, that sounds like more effort than being lazy. I want to be lazy. That's the point, being lazy. Anyway, so, but the one point I want is like, while it still does melt level 300 plus enemies effortlessly, like, where the F are you going to fight level 300 plus enemies?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Right? That must mean you're doing endurance runs. And the game is like, I really wish DE would nix endurance runs.
Oh?
Well, yeah. I genuinely feel that people getting to these points where the enemies are just such insanely high leveled is one of the reasons for people aspiring to have like these crazy AoE metas and stuff.
So do you think that like when you do a survival, it shouldn't go beyond, let's say, wave 40?
No, tell you what, it can. just doesn't reward you.
What, do the levels keep going up?
Yeah, let them go the levels up.
No,
they
no,
won't get
no.
rewarded for it.
No, because people still do it.
Your necromech broke.
The plot happened.
I don't remember the fire.
Well, solar fire? Me neither,
Yeah,
actually.
I don't remember him getting covered in solar fire.
I don't remember solar fire shooting through the ship, but it's been a while. You know, it's been like, when did you last play this quest? 7 months ago?
Yeah, I mean, I do remember the solar fire hitting the ship and everything, but I don't remember it hitting him there.
No, me neither. Don't worry, he's alive.
Maybe that's why we're supposed to think he was dead.
Oh, God, this thing.
It's fine, just get your warframe out.
I know. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah, you have to shoot those things first.
Oh, yeah, I have to. Pew, 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 pew. What do I have to shoot them? How do I do this? I remember. What do I do?
No one remembers.
Disable or fix generate. Oh, have I got to kill enemies or something nearby? Looks like it. Hello, bad guy. Go away. Pistol. Is that enough? What is it? One more? What is going on here?
No one knows. You're dying.
No one knows. I'm always dying. We're all dying, Drew. There we go. I've failed miserably. Yay! Right, I'll just repeat that. Right, so what's next?
I suppose it's time to go into the next topic.
Okay. Well, just
So,
oh,
I was going to say, could we actually pause for a minute?
Yes. There we go.
Right.
Distraction removed. Back to normality.
Right. This is where Loz now cracks out Ivara and does a gajillion void traces and not void traces, void relics, and just stealth it up.
Just AoE metas it. I'll just crack into the AoE meta.
Right. So to conclude, to drop my pen to conclude the first topic. Yes, I feel that they do need to implement challenge.
Yeah,
the more interesting mechanics for enemies and things. However, I don't think that copy pasting something similar to the Thumper is the way forward. I think it needs to be, so, you know, when we spoke about it, like the whole idea is you grab a sentient and you have to use your operator, you pin it, and then you have to use your operator to finish it.
It's something I keep trying to bring up a term later. What we need earlier, I bring up a term a lot, is that what we need is better player to mob interactions. You need to interact with the mobs with more than just I point gun at them and I shoot, I stab, and I use Warframe powers. Also, why can't there be environmental enemies tied to the room you're in? So you have to do features in the room to be able to kill the enemies as part of the map. You know, it's just like it locks you in this. It's like a mini. So you have the map tiles in a row, and then halfway through there's a special map tile that's kind of like a mini boss, mini stage thing you have to work through to kill.
I'm interested in that, but I think to clarify, it would have to be something that's universally affecting. So this thing might have like the overguard effect, but no overguard shield. So any enemies in that room are immune to all abilities unless you destroy the device.
Yeah, and it's not just you blow up one thing; it's a whole process you have to do. That's a chunky sign, don't I? I'm liking that.
I like it. I don't like the jiggle.
It's hard to say because it's like that spinning rather than walking. Who knows how it'll be when it walks?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be free that much. I see what you mean. It's like jiggle, 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 jiggle. I would prefer if that was actually solid. Yeah, I'm with you on that. What's this? Peculiar? Is this the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Right. Do you have any final thoughts, or should we move on to the concept topic?
Yeah, let's move on to the next topic. Ugh.
Cool. Yeah, I know.
What is this abomination?
This is where Loz presses topic 2 on the control board.
I was going to glare at this thing for some more.
Good man.
I think I should buy this just so I can point out how terrible of a design it is.
Right, so this is the Rail Sonova Terminus Proxima, the trial topic. This is part of the mega thread. That this topic was actually brought to us by the Grey Archon.
So I just want to point out it's DevOps, man.
This topic was brought to us by Grey Archon.
This is Drew. This is Drew in game. Sorry.
And he painstakingly went through the whole thread and preceded it down, so we had something that we could easily read. Cool. And Loz is like, good job, Grey Archon. If you actually have any topics that you want us to cover, please feel free to join the Discord in the description below. Suggest stuff. The only reason why Grey Archon preceded this one down is because it was so massive, and we asked, like, any chance you could do this for us? It's like, because we only got it yesterday. So right, okay, so going on to the topic itself. The trial focuses on infiltrating the Stalker's base, the rail terminal Sonova Proxima, and defeating him once and for all. It is designed to be completed by 4 players. Operator mode is disabled except for the final stage. There is a quest you must complete before you gain access to the trial. We will not be covering the quest for now. If people are interested, we may do it for the next episode, but for the next episode at 10 o'clock. But I was more keen on talking about the trial than anything else. Loz is in agreement.
Yep.
So again, this is all preceded down. So the first stage is the squad in Railjack approaches the Sonova, which resembles a red and black, very edgelord, Tenno dojo. And a swarm of sentient fighter craft, Loz is already invested, Tenno-style fighter craft called Vector Wings, and Archwing-mounted soldiers emerge to defend the location. So you have to attack it using Railjack, yeah?
I just want to... I'm upset that humanoids are coming out of this thing. I'm up for sentience. I'm a bit confused why there'd be humanoids defending it, but keep going.
Why not some Nama, right? Yeah. Hun Hao has taken over the Nama.
Yeah.
Okay. But again, this is massively preceded down, so there may be plot that we are skipping over. One of the squad in Archwing must pick up a beacon dropped from a dead enemy and fly through a series of timed rings to enter the dry dock, like the Mastery Rank 20 test or a K-Drive race. The infiltrating Tenno must kill the defenders in the dry dock and hack 3 terminals to allow the Railjack to enter the dry dock before shutting the dry dock doors so the enemy craft cannot follow. Yeah? Sounds pretty good so far.
Yeah.
I like the inclusion of Railjack.
Very much so.
The only concern I have about this part is what happens if that player goes down.
You failed then.
Fair enough. Okay. Stage 2, once the squad is inside the Sonova, a new acolyte, Vengeance, bars their way. Players cannot aim, glide, bullet jump, or leave the ground for more than 3 seconds during the fight. On the ground, Vengeance will have a sword and shield and will charge towards a target, using his shield to block forward fire and down the chosen player in 3 hits of his sword. The target player must kite the acolyte while the other players attack. But if the target player is downed, Vengeance will quickly switch targets, so the other players should not get too close. Vengeance will also distract other players using blaze artillery and tether grenades, Proteor abilities. Vengeance will periodically jump in the air and fly around like Hildren using her ultimate, shooting from the air with dual balefire charges, and deploy flechette orbs. I don't remember what flechette orbs are. The Tenno must work together to kill the acolyte. How does that make you feel?
I'm liking the concept of it. Remember from World of Warcraft, you kind of have this kind of things where a boss focuses on a target, and then that person has to kite it for a certain amount of time, and then move on. You know, if they kind of do something that resets it. Flechette orbs are one of Vauban's orby things.
Right. Okay. What do they do?
Well, it's part of Mind Layer. Flechette orbs fire out deadly nails in all directions.
Oh, okay. So, like, I'm fine with this, but I am a little concerned that Vengeance is tank and spank, right? It's a case of like you just have to just constantly pepper Vengeance with bullets until it's
you
done.
can change it, reset it. So what makes Vengeance change target, and you do it with some sort of environmental thing.
Yes, maybe it's a case of there's a stacking debuff on the targeted player, right? So the longer you're targeted, like the slower you become or something.
Or the faster Vengeance becomes.
Or the faster Vengeance becomes. So you have to like cycle around and things like that. I like that. That would fix it for me. That would be enough to fix it for me. Moving. Any other points before I move on to stage?
Let's move on. Yeah.
Well, stage 3. The squad finds an ancient Orokin machine called the Preceptor, and a crowd of unarmed initiates recruits to the Stalker army. The Preceptor, the Preceptor subjects the initiates to versions of the 7 Trials of Ascension from Lua.
Sorry, Drew. Is that an emblem?
Where?
There.
On the shoulder?
Yeah, look. I mean, look there.
Oh, yeah, that is.
Wow.
Dear God, that was hard to see.
This is going to be a tricky one to get a bloody image of. I'll mash the button. There we go. It's...
Problem solved.
Oh, God. It's a nice emblem, but it's just... fucking out.
Maybe the other shoulder.
I will edit that.
Okay.
I'll try the other shoulder as well with you.
Right. So, just to repeat, just to repeat, the squad finds an ancient Orokin machine called the Preceptor and a crowd of unarmed initiates, the recruits for the Stalker's army.
Yep.
The Preceptor subjects the initiates to versions of the 7 Trials of Ascension from Lua in order to train them. The Tenno must compete against the initiates in random rotating tests of the 7 Orokin principles. Failing a test results in insta-death, permanent for the initiates using up a revive for the Tenno. The stage continues until all initiates are dead from having lost their tests to the Tenno. So they haven't specified in our notes how many is in the crowd.
Sorry, is that an emblem?
I don't know. Maybe. Press I. Look at the player and then press I. No.
No, it's some sort of thing. Okay, cool.
So I'm fine with this, but there is one of the Lua tests that I hate, which is the organ, the pipe organ. Right?
Yeah.
I know a lot of players will take something like Titania and just fly up there, but to me, like, is it worth taking one Warframe to go all the way to the end of one of the tests? Like, would you take just Titania? Like, someone has to take Titania just for this one test.
You could use Nova.
Could you?
Yeah, portals.
I don't know if that works. I'm not saying it doesn't. I just don't know if it does. And yeah, okay, fine. Oh no, because you have to shoot stuff while you're going up it.
On the organ?
Yes.
No, but you land on the pads, then you shoot stuff.
Yeah, but that's the problem. The pads just slide down. The number of times I try to like glide shoot stuff, and because you have to land in the pipes. The upshot of Titania is as long as you don't touch the floor, you got no problem. So yeah, Titania can just. So that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. It could be like, I just don't want it so that there's one test
But
which
wait, so
one Warframe can super cheese.
I don't know. Are you doing this as a Warframe, or are you transferring
Yes.
into the Initiates?
No. You're doing this as the Warframe.
But I thought the
You're
Initiates were
competing
doing
against
it.
Huh? Yeah, they are. So it's the first person to win.
Oh.
Yeah? And the idea is that you got to keep doing it until all the Initiates are dead. Yeah?
Oh, over and over and over again. So you got to do it quicker and quicker.
Well, I mean, I don't know how many Initiates there are or how all the players do this. It might be a case of randomly one at a time, the players have to do it against the Initiates, or it might be a case of everyone gets put in a room to against an Initiate. I really don't know. Personally, I would say everyone has to go against an Initiate. Yeah, everyone has to go in against an Initiate. And then maybe it's a case of you have like 4 rooms or something, and you can activate it. So someone go like, I'm really bad at these. I'd rather not do it. And then the other, so it does it in, 3 people do it and 1 person sits it out. I really don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall I move on to the next part, or do you have any other comments?
Move on.
Okay. Stage 4, the Tenno must go through a large maze while being periodically ambushed by all 6 of the acolytes with their steel path modifiers. The maze drains 10 health and energy each second, but the acolytes drop health and energy and ammo if killed. The maze is shaped like a giant hexagon, and at each corner is a shrine to an acolyte. The Tenno must snuff out the light of each shrine to access the end of the maze. Right? So my initial comment, the maze needs to change shape.
Yeah.
It can't be the same maze every single time.
I'm not a fan of the health drain mechanic. I'd much prefer a stacking debuff that you take more damage from the enemies the longer the fight goes on.
Can you define the difference for us?
So, a stacking debuff encourages skilled play, because at any time you can just keep avoiding it, but if the longer you attempt to cheese a mechanic by avoiding the attacks or avoiding the mechanics and just chipping away at it, the biggerish you're playing, and to the point where you'll just get one shot. Whereas, and you can keep as long as you've got the skill, you can keep it going, but it's down to your skill versus the enemy you're fighting. Whereas a timed thing where your health just ticks down, it's just nothing to do with you. You've just got to attack the enemies. It's a fixed timer. It literally is. You might as well put a clock, because you get health from killing the enemies. You might as well just put a timer that says you've got 35 seconds to kill the enemies, otherwise you just lose. I mean, is this mitigated by Warframes that can heal? I mean, can you just come up with you can get like 3 or 4 Warframes that have some sensible system where like 3 people put down dispensers and one person's got everyone's got luck kitties, and then I don't know, someone has a trinity that just gets energy through the containers, and they get enough because everyone's spawning them to just keep people alive forever.
So I'm fine with what you're saying, and I also want to say the stacking debuff.
Yeah.
It
wiped every time you kill one. Reset.
Sure. To reset every single time you kill one.
Yep.
But I'd also say needs to prevent you from having, I'm just going to say, all buffs, any healing, any buff on the player. So damage dealing abilities are fine, but things like healing and stuff to mitigate.
Yeah, no, you could make it that the only source of healing you can get is through killing the enemies, but at the same time you have a stacking debuff. But it's just, I don't like ticking down things. It's just it's yeah.
Also, no pizzas.
Oh, of course. But I feel Steel Path already does a good job of putting timers on pizzas. It's just odd that it doesn't do that between pizzas, so you can have 3, 4 tiers.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. Right, okay, so I'm fine with this one. It's just, like, I get where you're coming from with the debuff, but I also really want the maze to change.
Oh, no, I get why you're saying that. Yeah, I'm with that. I don't want it to be something similar. I don't like that. Warframe's not a game where you want to have people doing, and here is the strategy guide for the path you have to walk. It's left, left, right, right, left. Every time. Yeah. You want it to be like, right, go find it.
Also, no jumping over the maze. That's a given. I'm thinking like, oh, this is a garden maze, right? Maybe you shouldn't be able to see the actual structure of the maze before you go in.
Maybe it moves. It swaps.
Well, while you're in there.
Yeah.
I like that. If it swaps while you're in there, that would be pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm down for that. And I just have the exit in the middle, just like either an elevator that goes up or down or something like that. So cool, right? Because otherwise, like spending God knows how much time trying to find the exit as well as all the shrines. Yeah. Right. So unless you got anything else, moving on to stage 5. Right, stage 5. The squad fight 3 giant statues known as apostles. The apostles fight the squad one at a time. They are mostly melee range with abilities like the Bombard, Knockdown, and the Kuvalich Spine Break, but they can teleport to your location with a fairly short cooldown, so running away doesn't help. They can even smack you out of the air if you parkour. Periodically, they can slow down and freeze your warframe, like how time freezes when you select a relic during fissure survival rotations. And they can also have an electric version of Saren's miasma. I can't remember miasma.
I
assume that's the debuff.
They always change it.
The squad must fight all 3 apostles. Sorry. So yeah, you fight them one at a time, and then the squad must fight all 3 apostles.
Miasma's the ultimate.
Right. I still don't know what that does.
Releases a poisonous miasma that deals viral damage to enemies in range. Foes afflicted by spores are more susceptible to the mist.
Okay, then. Cool. So once you've destroyed all 3, then you have to defeat all 3 at once. Right? Yeah, that's basically the fight. I'm not a fan of the teleport because it's part of the frustration behind Kuvaliches. They just teleport away, and it's just so infuriating. So I'd much rather. I'm probably going to say a scorpion yank. So if you're too far away from it, it will just pull you back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and again, if you try to get to, so it will instantly pull you back. And it can do it to all players at the same time. So if all 4 people try to go like, oh, I will, jump away, it will just grab all 4 of you at the same time and just pull you all back. That's my personal preference. I don't like the teleporting thing because it's frustrating as hell, especially if it's on a low cooldown. I'd rather have an instant pull you back. Right. Any other points for that one?
Nope.
It does feel very much like I'll just shoot them until they're dead. But that's fine. I think for one fight, that's fine. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so stage 6. The squad finally fights the Shadow Stalker. He is in a special Archwing with powerful abilities like upgraded versions of the Electrons, Warhead and Thumper. I can't remember what Thumper does, but I know Warhead is like a giant F-off nuke that anything in the area just dies. And has a special Arc Melee Blade. His stat modifiers are triple from Steel Path. The Tenno must defeat the Shadow Stalker. This fight prioritizes always moving and keeping the squad spread out. I'm certainly interested in this. I like the fact that we actually have a boss like, another Archwing based boss. I think is great. And yeah, I mean, I'd probably give Stalker some Ash-like teleport where he can teleport behind a player and then a moment later can, like, I don't know, maybe do a finisher-ish kind of attack on the player. Yeah?
Finisher-like attack on the player.
Well, so you know how the finishers in like Warframe, so you go behind or a stealth stab or something like that, yeah?
Yeah.
So I used finisher wrong. I should have been like a stealth attack. So you go behind them and you stealth them because they're unalerted enemies, things like that. So what I'm thinking is with his Archwing, he could periodically just teleport behind someone, do a stealth attack effectively, and then they're left to go pick up their friend. Just give it like an extra layer of mechanic, because right now it's just you're just fighting Stalker while he's got an Archwing. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. And then the final stage is after the Stalker is defeated, the Tenno go to the final room, to find the Low Guardian emerge from a transference pod. This is the warrior who was controlling the Stalker Warframe. There was also I think there are also many inactive Stalker Warframes in pods around the room. While in his true form, the Low Guardian can only be damaged by the Operator. Operator mode is allowed during the stage. During certain phases of the fight, the Low Guardian can activate several Stalker frames and fight through them all at the same time. They use the old weapons, Dread, Despair, and Hate. The Low Guardian also has superpowered abilities like Summon Spectral Dax, or making the room fill with Void Water, question mark. The Tenno must swap between their Warframe and Operator modes and work together to put the Low Guardian to rest and end the Stalker once and for all. How do you feel about this?
So it kind of feels a bit weird to me that I don't know. The problem is, for when you get to this point, the sacrifice was clearly meant to be for Stalker.
Yeah.
Clearly meant to round off his story. Clearly meant to explain why he doesn't understand what a Tenno is, because he's like, well, I don't transfer into weird things.
Yeah.
Wait, what's this?
That's the I can teleport around the map.
That's stupid.
Anyway.
Yeah, so it does feel a bit weird to me that gets changed into, it's a person in a pod. I don't know. Maybe if the person in the pod, like, I think it should be changed that maybe you get into an area where the Stalker didn't know existed on the base, and the Stalker tries to kill itself, if that makes sense, and you've got to stop it.
Oh, what? So, sorry, is the Stalker? Sorry, can you elaborate further? Sorry.
So the Stalker, you fight the Stalker or something in the previous phase, and you break through a wall or something in an area which it didn't, that even the Stalker didn't know existed on the base, and you actually see a transference pod, and the Stalker goes mad and tries to kill the thing in the transference pod, but even though it's itself, so you all of a sudden then have to defend the
transference pod.
Yeah. Because I don't like the fact that it's like, aha, finally, the Low Guardian, we have found you, and now we shall murder you. It's like, it's pretty weak for the Stalker to be that's what it is.
I agree. I feel that I don't think
instead it should be like, clearly this isn't what it's supposed to be. Like, the Stalker gets confused, thinks it's a Tenno, has to kill the Tenno, even though it's going to kill itself, and it's so because it's been programmed. Because the thing is, like, so you have to answer questions with this kind of story. If the Stalker, the Low Guardian, is in this pod, and it's like, aha, we find you at last, Low Guardian. Now we must fight. Aha, dueling. Then who built the base? Why is the Stalker? Why did the Stalker not know about Tenno and the thing in the first place? You know, when it's went to Hunhow, you've got to whatever story you have has to fit in, be concurrent with existing Warframe lore.
I think I'm in agreement with you. I think the problem is that right now you and I have pretty much assigned the sacrifice plotline to be the Stalker's
Should have been.
canon. No. I'm saying to us, like that is verbatim. That is like, there is no other truth.
No, no, because I think it should have been, but it no longer is because the new war exists.
Okay, fair. Right. Okay, here's a question for you. Do you want the Stalker to be operated or independent?
Yeah, see, now we're asking some. Now we're getting to the crux of it, and that's the question. Because we've had the sacrifice how it should have been, and yet the Stalker is aware of Tenno, is aware of transference, and yet still is working with Hunhow. I think if it's not independent, it has to be something weird and unique. Like that it's a Tenno that doesn't know it's a Tenno, and then like I say, the Stalker tries to kill itself, and we have to defend it and it was all some sort of, I don't know, remaining sentience. The thing is, like, if you have it, what made it? You know, how did it? Even if it was a low guardian, or it believes it was a guardian, why is it in a warframe?
I would like it if we still don't know. Here's a potential solution. We don't know if the Stalker is independent or if it is operated, right? I want to say in the chamber, and I want to take what you've suggested. It's not the Stalker's cryopod. There's a bunch of cryopods in there.
Yeah.
And they belong to the Acolytes. The Acolytes
Ah.
are operated.
Right.
Yeah. Hence, the Acolytes keep coming back during the Steel Path.
Yes. Right, but Stalker also keeps coming back.
Fair, but I think at this point in time...
Oh, hang on a minute. No, when you defeat an Acolyte, does it kneel and leave, or does it die on the floor?
I can't tell you that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember either.
But what I'm proposing... I think it kneels and leaves, right? But what I'm proposing is effectively... you have your Stalker bust through the wall at the end of stage 6, and he sees the cryopods. Now, either he doesn't realize or he does realize that those are the operators for the Acolytes, his Acolytes, and he goes ballistic and he wants to murder them, right? How does that sound to you?
That'd be fine, but then who are the Acolytes and what are they doing in those pods? A question which I don't think DE ever wants to answer.
I think that's true. But again, at the same time, I think the Acolytes, they still believe in Stalker, even though Stalker's like, oh, no, I'm going to murder you now. Yeah. So it's the Tenno's job, it's the player's job to defend those cryopods.
No, I like you like never gonna answer it. So I like the concept that this is all one of the last Orichin's form of revenge. So the Stalker was around as the stayed awake the whole time as the barometer, are the Tenno back, and all the others, the Acolytes, were supposed to sleep, and were there supposed to awaken once the Tenno threat arrived. And obviously, the Stalker fighting us is enough to awaken the Acolytes. And then there could be more and more Acolytes in storage, and they're all just like the remaining warframes that the guy had, and then like just random souls he just or whatever you would call them, of the people he just shoved into that he could find, after the end of the Sentient War, but he could do stealthily with what powers he had left, what was available to him.
Your thing broke.
My thing broke. Oh my god, I can't break the Oath God. It's just so impossible. So impossible, Drew. It's like impossible. Anyway. Yeah. So the thing is that you have to come up with a story for them. You have to justify it. I'm not going to be like, but it's just gameplay. It's just fun. It's just like, no. We're finally dealing with the Stalker as a thing. It needs to have some sort of story like that to go with it.
So just to confirm, right? In this secret room in stage 7, are there cryopods?
Yes.
Right, there are cryopods.
Oh yes. So yeah, the Stalker though wouldn't be in a cryopod. All the others would be because they needed to survive. But the Stalker, because it had to stay awake to be the trigger.
Sure.
It was it's a warframe, or maybe it's so instead of maybe they used like the Kuva to shove the mind of what would be the Tenno in the cryopod into the warframe as well. That's why he's so crazy. Okay. So it's like 2 minds, and because it's been so long, it's just full of hatred. They just fused into 1 mind.
Okay, cool. So the next I have for you is you are in agreement that those cryopods should house the acolytes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. And would you have the Stalker fight to destroy those cryopods?
Yes. Because he was never supposed to see the cryopods.
He was never supposed to see the cryopods. Okay, cool. Should we have see, I like the idea of this low bodying character, but at the same time, the maybe it should just be the Stalker, plus the acolytes, right? Maybe it's a case of the Stalker doesn't realize that those are the acolyte cryopods. He just sees cryopods. He's like, I'm going to destroy these.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. He just sees Tenno.
Okay. So maybe they're open cryopods. You can see the Tenno sleeping in there, but you don't know that they're the acolytes.
He doesn't care. They're just he's so gone that he doesn't differentiate. It doesn't matter you see them or whatever. He just wants to kill. He's just completely gone.
Okay, he's completely gone. That's fine. Okay, so should we have the acolytes turn up as well during the fight?
They should be before in the previous rooms, but when you get to that room, they all switch off.
Okay, they all switch off.
Because then you're down to trying to stop Stalker from finishing them off.
I'm trying to think of a reason why we could make Stalker super powered. Right? I think we should get rid of the whole there's more Stalker bodies just lying around waiting to be turned on.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
But I like the idea.
I like the idea of more acolytes in storage instead of more Stalkers.
So yeah, but you've said you don't want the acolytes to turn up during the fight.
Not this fight, yeah, but they could. Yeah. Thematically.
Oh yeah. Thematically, fine. So maybe we could do something where his presence close to the operators supercharges him.
His presence.
I'm trying to think of a reason to make him tougher than his just regular Shadow Stalker self. Yeah?
He could finally lose it utterly.
Yeah?
And it would be that by realizing all the others are in cryopods, some element of his mind realizes that he was just the trigger, and so just goes ballistic to the point that instead of being he was designed to last forever.
Yeah.
But he breaks through all those conditioning, and so is using up his it's expending himself to do damage.
Okay. Fine. So here's a question for you.
And remember, Stalker gets defeated and then leaves. Why
Yeah.
Stalker didn't try and do that and just went mental at you?
Okay. How would you feel if the objective was not to kill the Stalker?
No.
Finally, but to capture the Stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he's going off the cryopod, so you're not there to kill him. Or you have the option.
So we're out to disable his base of operations and capture the Stalker.
No. You get to that stage of the fight, and it's down to you. Do you want to end the fight easily and kill him?
Yeah.
But that's not the canonical ending of the fight. Or do you go for the harder option and capture him?
I like that.
They have that in things like, I just pointed out in World of Warcraft. If you fight Ragnaros in Kata? Is it Kata?
Yeah. Yeah.
The normal fighting of him isn't the canonical fight. You have to do it on hard mode to get the last stage of the fight. So if you don't do it on hard mode, you're not actually finishing the story. Because
Right.
in the last stage, he comes out of the fire, has legs, and then you properly kill him.
Right.
Whereas if you don't, he just submerges and goes away.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So I'm fine with that. I like the canonical is you capture him and things. But yeah, so I'm 100% down for that. I like the idea of like the multiple endings, and I like it if if the reward tables are different,
Yes.
dependent on which outcome you go for.
Yep.
So, and not a case of, oh no, if you capture him, you have access to the same rewards as killing him. No, I just want completely different.
Yeah, completely different. There's like, you could even have like thematic things for like killing the stalker, and you get killing the stalker rewards. They're not actual, hey, eternalism. They're not actually the correct ones, but you get like dead shoulder pad, dead broken stalker helmet if there's a drop chance on the killing stalker route, or like broken versions of his weapon sort of thing. It's very a skin with like of the stalker but still smashed up. It's
I would love it if later on they introduced something like a consumable that if all players used, you got a super, super hard version of Stalker. Maybe resembles a bit like Umbra. Who knows? You get a super hard version of Stalker with another drop table.
Well, eternalism.
Yeah. So I'd be totally down for that. So yeah, I very much like this. This is a very nice concept and everything. It utilizes a lot of cool elements to Warframe. I love the whole you gotta break in with the railjack. I really like that. I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, so I'm 100% down for this. I think as we have rewritten the final stage, like I think that's kind of
I think they're the final. Not just. I love that the amount of effort that puts the concept, but I just feel the final stage is like, well, what's going on? It's like, aha! It is the Logardian. I fight ye. Aha! I have defeated the Logardian and his army of stalkers. Aha! What was Stalker's plot the whole time? How did he build the base? How did he build the army of stalkers? If he's a low guardian, it's supposed to be kind of like humble and weak. Then why?
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
I've lost where I'm supposed to be going.
Out, probably.
No, I think we're supposed to open the thing down here.
Good old thing.
Love this blocking my view. There we go. And there's resources down here, I assume. Yay! Yeah, look, there they are. The resources.
Good old the resources.
The resources. The sweet, sweet resources.
Alloy
plate. Lucinant terror globes. And is that it?
Stuff.
Wow.
Well, I mean, there's going to be other stuff there, but it's not worth highlighting.
I hate these games.
Right. We move on to... I'll let Loz do that for a second.
No, sorry, it's just freaking annoying. There was so much potential there. So much potential.
Potential where?
Here.
There?
There.
Where?
Everywhere.
Cool. Right. So are you ready to move on? What's the next part of this? Is the graphs? I always forget the order of this.
Yeah, the graphs thing.
Right, cool. So turn off the topics.
Yeah, that was a lovely concept, I must say.
Cool. So our first graph for the week is how do you want to see 10 o'clock improve? 5% said more me. No, sorry. 5% said improved knowledge of the game. One topic, 2 concepts. Make Nazareth a stable member. 10% said do what you want. 30% said keep it the way it is. 75% said bring back guests, and 335% said more memes. So Loz knows what his job is now.
How many more memes? Why do people?
Hey Loz, 335% said more memes.
I know, but okay, you can't just always have more memes, guys.
335% Loz said more memes. Okay, if we actually want to look at the real numbers, go to graph 2. So 5% said more memes.
What? How did you make this one then?
Yeah. Oh, come off it. It's easy maths.
Whatever. Okay, you made more memes.
So one person has suggested more memes, not 3 times the number of people that actually voted. Yeah. So to talk about bringing guests back, I have created a forum thread thing on Discord asking people to recommend people to reach out to. We've had some recommendations. I know Tactical Potato was one of the recommendations. I will see if he wants to be on.
Have we never had Tactical Potato? We never had Tactical Potato.
I've asked him on. Yeah, I've asked him on, and
he's
he
an
said
awesome dude.
He doesn't want to be on.
Well, we're not good enough for the likes.
No,
of
he's
he
basically
is super cool. He is.
No, it was basically he didn't think he would enjoy such long form content, and I could appreciate that. You know. But I can.
He honestly is too good for us, and I don't mean in a bad way. Like he thinks he's too good. I mean that he is just of a higher caliber than we would deserve.
Yeah. So I will. If you've got any suggestions, please feel free to join the Discord. Find the form thread thing. Ask me for the form thread thing, and please feel free to suggest people. I know that there's some people that were suggesting I've never heard of, so I'm gonna have to go look them up and things. Cool. But Loz is totally going to get on that more meme. No, I'm joking.
I think you'll get the next double memes because somebody would ask why we got 450 or whatever it was and no double memes. I'll do the next double memes on when's the anniversary date for the first 10 o'clock?
It's like the 13th of October.
There you go. You can have double memes then.
Okay. Right.
I remember.
So well, you're gonna have to write it down, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down.
Right. Okay. Cool. So the next graph.
I can push buttons, me.
Could you? Right. Would you like Soulframe to have a founders program? Well, you asked for this.
I know, and I'm interested by the results. That wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't a. It was a. Ooh.
Oh, I thought you. No, I thought that was a. Ooh, I forgot I asked this.
No, it's an. Ooh, I'm interested by the response.
Okay. Cool. So, 45% said no. 55% said yes.
I'd be interested to know those people who picked no. Is that so? We don't know if it's free to play yet, do we? We don't even know what.
No, we don't know anything.
Yeah, is that because they were like, no, I want it to be free to play? But like, if the option is, I mean, if it's a free to play game, then it has a founders program. It's like an early option to play into it. If it's free to play and doesn't have a founders program, then how is it going to get money? It needs to have something to get money with. If it's not free to play, then instead of a founders program, you're just going to get like a collector's edition.
Yeah. I mean, founders program is just basically another term for
collector's edition, but for free to play. You know, it's just yeah. It's the same as buying like a better version of thing.
I'm fine for a founders program / collector's edition. But as I've said previously, I don't want it to be a game as a service. Like I want it to be more akin to Elden Ring and things like that, because I really feel that you can only go so far with a game as a service before it starts to eat itself.
The Dark Tide, which I'm going to buy you even if you don't want it, and we're going to play it, and I'm going to force you to play it.
Yeah,
even if you don't want to be an upgrade or whatever, you're going to play it. I've watched. Did you watch Skillup's thing?
Yeah.
They're not using the term live service, but they are going to be providing like the story will expand over time.
Fair.
But they don't want to call it a live service and I do agree with that. I feel that term, while at first was kind of like to explain an ongoing game, is just too mired with people using it and then not producing a good service.
Yeah, it's. I always, in my line of work, I always have this something as a service, right? So, for example, hosting as a service, right? Infrastructure as a service, right? So, like, I'm setting up your hosting environment for you as a paid-for service. Like I'm some kind of valet or something, or a mechanic maintaining your car. The one that always gets me is software as a service. Well, I mean, You're patching updates and things. How is this a service? Why am I like? I'm sorry, fuck Adobe, right? Who fucking popularized this because of the whole like, oh yeah, pay us a subscription and we'll keep your software up to date for you. Whee!
Yeah, the problem is they should be providing better service and they really don't. But I can
They
also
don't.
appreciate they were like, everyone's just pirating our stuff. What should we do?
I don't know, make it more fucking affordable.
Yeah.
You know, Microsoft had the exact same problem. Do you know what they did?
They did the same thing?
No, they made free versions for students.
Can you get a free version of Windows for students?
Yes.
Can you?
Yes. And then do you know what they did after that?
Actually, no, wait, yeah, you can. Yeah, Office, yeah.
Windows 10. They made a free upgrade from Windows 7.
Yeah, that's true.
You know. I'm still on 10. Everyone's like, oh, when are you gonna upgrade to 11? I'm like, oh, fuck 11. I'm like, oh, I don't want any of that tracking crap. 50 quid says they're just gonna go, oh, from Windows 10 to Windows 12 free update. When am I gonna pay for
Yeah, if you're right, if enough people do the whole Windows 8 things happens again, then yeah, you just hold out.
Yeah, they're going to. They're going to. They always do. Anyway, right. So moving on to the next question, which is number 4.
4.
All right. How much should the maximum tier of Founders Pack be for? Oh God. How much should the maximum tier of Founders Pack for Soul Frame cost? Right. 5% said up to $1,000. 10% said up to $500, 20% said up to $300, and 65% said up to $100. At that point in time, I'm just like, there's no point in having a Founders Pack.
At what point?
Well, up to $100.
No, I mean, Prime Access is that, but like, in my opinion, a Founders Pack should push beyond. It should go higher.
I think it should just be like a collector's edition sort of thing. It's like you are gambling money. And this is the thing. Okay, here's the thing. Founders Pack should be available for, say, 3 to 6 months after the release of the game.
Yep.
Right? After the open beta launch of the game or the release of the game, it should be available for 3 to 6 months after that and then no more. Right? Because then if it's, say, $300, you can save up for that $300 and pay for it.
Yeah.
If you don't want to pay for it, well, then that's your choice to make. Right?
Yeah.
But there are people out there that are willing to put their wallet where their mouth is, and DE should be rewarded for the people that are prepared to pay that. The 1,000 thing, yeah, okay, I can appreciate. The 500 thing, yeah, I can appreciate that. But I think as long as it's available, it doesn't do a Lost Ark where it's no longer available after the launch of the game. Yeah, it's fine. Because I can appreciate people might not want to spend that money if they've not tried it. Hell, we did that. We waited until we played Warframe before we actually got into the did the Founders Program.
Yeah.
And that's so important. So I'm at the 300 on that one. And where are you on that?
I'd go. I think I said $600 was how I would go up to.
Right.
I would definitely go up to. If I got to that stage and I'd already paid it, and there was something good at 1,000, like really worth it, it has to be really worth it. I would consider it.
Have to be really
I mean, I do feel Warframe has delivered on that initial purchase that we found it into.
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's still going. You know, it's so good. It's still going, but it's just. I mean, yeah, we moan because there's issues, but at the same time, I mean, from what it started at and what they were like, oh yeah, we're making this cool game with like ninjas in space. Do you want to invest in it? We're like, yeah, and yeah, it's paid dividends from that initial purchase. In fact, I'm only sad that I didn't have the. Wow, I didn't feel. I wish I had the thing to push it to the highest back then. That's
push it to the limit.
Sweet pistol. I would never stop using that pistol if I did.
Push it to the limit.
To the limit. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
Push it to the limit. Okay, cool. So moving on to the next graph. On a general basis, do you use the explosive meta and prime sure-footed? Yeah, it's supposed to be meta. I don't know. I messed off the word meta. 5% said I only use prime sure-footed. 25% said I use neither. 25% said I only use explosive meta. And 55% said yes, I use both. 55% of our community uses the explosive meta and prime sure-footed.
Yeah.
D needs to fix this. Right? Okay, the next one, because we were talking about the damage system.
The next graph.
Graph, yeah. Do you think damage negatives overcomplicate the damage system or should be removed from the game? Right. And I even have an example in the description for this one, which is damage negatives are where you do reduced damage given a specific conditions, e.g., slash damage against Grineer Nox with alloy armor does 50% less damage, or the bombard takes 25% less damage against slashing damage because the alloyed armor and cloned flesh. So it takes more damage because of the clone flesh, but less damage because of the alloy armor, right? So going back to the graph, 27% said yes, it overcomplicates it, and 73% said no. Where are you on that?
I don't think they do.
You don't think the negatives with the different conditions and the different armor types and the different flesh types and things like that doesn't overcomplicate the system?
Oh no, I thought you meant just the fact of having negatives in itself. I don't think does. If you ask me, do you think there's too many armor types and within a faction and things? Then yeah, definitely.
I'm talking about the whole thing.
Yeah, well, the whole thing, fine. I would probably there's a whole thing, but I don't mind some of it. It's just too much. It's just
Yeah.
I'm going to fight Grineer. But are you going to fight high level Grineer or this Grineer or this? You know, what are you fighting? What are you fighting today? You know, it's too much.
I'd love to just ask people just at random, like, okay, what what combination of elements and IPS and all that stuff is best suited for the Grineer Lancer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, do you remember off the top of your head? It's like, okay, well, no. Or say it like, okay, what armor types are you going to experience on Mars versus what armor types you're going to fight on Uranus? Or what's the breakdown of the different units of the different, how many cloned flesh units, how many ferrite armor, what's the other one? Grineer.
Oh, shoot, I don't know.
You know what I mean, though? It's like, so instead of it being simple, like, I'm fighting the Grineer, there's like 6.
So Grineer have cloned flesh, ferrite armor, alloy armor, and machinery. Right? The Corpus have, oh my dear God, flesh, shields, proto shields, ferrite armor, alloy armor, and robotic. Infested have infested flesh, fossilized, infested sinew, ferrite armor. Oh wait. Nope, yep, that's it. Sentients have flesh, robotic, ferrite armor, alloy armor, shields. Corrupted have fecking everything. And yeah, that's it. So if you want all of the armor types, we have flesh, cloned flesh, fossilized, infested flesh, infested sinew, machinery, robotic. There's apparently an object. I don't know what that is. Shield, proto shield, ferrite armor, and alloy armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes.
12 different defensive types.
I remember how the damage 1.0 was like, oh, this is too simple. They went too far.
It's too far now. Right. Okay, cool. Should we move on to the next graph? 2 more graphs, by the way.
Was it 6? No, 7.
7. Right. How do you feel about the DERF concept? So 5% said I prefer the 10 o'clock version. What? Okay. 14% said I prefer the original. 29% said I dislike both concepts, and 52% said I like both concepts.
Well, there you go.
So fair enough. So surprising number of people that didn't like that. But then our last graph is wait, what? Is that right? I don't know if that's right. Oh no, that's not our last graph. There's another graph. Okay, let's make this our last graph because there's so many. Right. How do you feel about mid bosses that get tougher the more you face them? Right. 14% said negative, 23% said neutral, and 64% said positive. Yeah. So to be honest, I'd quite like it, but I think if they start defeating you, they have to get weaker again. It needs a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really loved the operation they did with the grenade when the infested Eris ships came out. And you could keep doing the mission, but the concept was that you got covered in more and more infested spores, and you became smellier. So it just became harder and harder and harder. Just do that again.
Just do that.
Ad infinitum, and then also add in a system where if they beat you through some clever means, not just like use because you're invincible, but if they beat you or beat the mechanic that causes defeat, you become less smelly because you have less spores on you.
Yeah. Cool. And then that's it for the graphs. So
I thought we had one more.
Okay, pause real quick.
Oh, is it not this one?
No.
Oh, pause.
There we go. Right. Okay, so the last graph is how would you improve Durf Anyo? 5% said should occasionally spawn with his name as Derp Anyo. 20% said should periodically stand still with the assumption that Tenno's vision is movement based. I forgot to put that. And then 40% is a tie. Should occasionally spawn riding an ambulance. And 40% said
you almost made us miss these amazing responses.
It's fine. 40% also said should invite / kidnap you back to his place for pizza and video games. There you go. Well, I had to set up the whole graph and everything for this, so there you go. Right, so that is it for the graphs. It is time to move on to the supporter questions.
I can put the graphs away.
Yes, you can.
And then I can go back and I can push this button. And
push it to the limit.
No, there are no limits. There will be no pushing. What there will be, though, is discovering where Discord is. It's over there. And then going to Xeno's thing. And there's the thing. And that's my Warframe. My thingy's broken. There we go. Yeah, I've got to get...
What the hell? What is wrong with your Warframe?
He's scared.
He's scared.
He's very scared.
He's very scared.
He's a very scared frame.
Very scared boy.
Very scared boy. He's gonna go through this thing.
No.
And he'll probably be fixed. Zrugel. Is he still fixed? No, he's a very scaredy boy. He's a scaredy boy. He's a scaredy boy, so he's gonna fly now. Oh, he fixed now. Okay, he no longer.
It'd be hilarious if he's scared.
Yeah, he's still
scaredy boy.
He's still scaredy boy. Fly, scaredy boy.
Okay.
Let me just get over here, and then I will get into the base, and then I can pull people up. Oh, am I still not scaredy boy? I'm no more scaredy boy.
Not scaredy boy.
He's a brave boy now. He's a brave boy. He's a brave boy. Right, there we go. Right, Zrugel says, "Oh my, this is a strange font. Zrugel, you just keep making these weirder and weirder. Maybe you could try Comic Sans next time. That's an easy one. Everyone else, please like and comment. It helps us out. Okay, thanks, bye." I don't see no Comic Sans.
No, it says next time we could use Comic Sans.
Well, you could. Anytime you want. Give me some Comic Sans. I appreciate Comic Sans. Right. Now I'll read out Zuko's question. Is it too early to be excited for Soulframe? No?
I think you can have a long wait.
Yeah,
why not?
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm optimistic for it because I know that Steve. You know, maybe that's the thing. I remember I've been saying that I've been watching dev streams and Steve's been gagged for too long. Maybe now Steve will be free. Maybe Steve will now go out into the wilderness and become the Steve he was always meant to be. Free of gags, and instead he can just squee about all the good stuff he's bringing to us and what lovely particle effects he's going to bring with them and lighting engines. Moving on to Nazeth, unless you have something to say.
Nope.
Do you think that Veilbreaker could eventually lead to more controlled PvP than we currently have in the form of Grineer versus Corpus?
No.
We wanted that and we thought that'd be great. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they've, especially now that Steve's not on the project as well, I don't think any PvP or Conclave features are to be expected in the future.
I mean, I think it would be really cool, and I think that it would be an obvious direction that they could go in. But I think the problem is that there's just no interest in the player base. I don't think the player base is into Warframe for the PvP elements.
But then that's because they just try basic PvP stuff. They don't try and expand on it. They don't try and bring up something new. They don't try PvPvE. They don't try PvEvP. You know, there's things they could do. Or as they say, is it that the player base don't like it, or is it that the way that Warframes have too much movement, too much stuff, that it makes it too reliant on the whoever's the host has too big of an effect, and if they know what they're doing, they can just abuse the game. Whereas if you had a better system, what the hell is wrong with my Sentinel?
I don't know.
Why is that wing in its chest?
What wing? Oh God, I never noticed that before.
Yeah, look.
Well, your head is kind of obscuring it.
Can I put it over? No, your head's obscuring it.
No.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. It's in the torso.
And the other, lovely.
Anyway, I think PvPvE is definitely the way forward with Warframe.
Yeah.
I think PvP would require such diverse reworks and things like that it would be just too difficult to do.
I think if you brought it down to Corpus versus Grineer, no wall running, no bullet jumping, that could work. It's just too much to do Warframe straight PvP.
Fair. Yeah.
But I don't think they will. I think DevOps Man is dead, and thus we're getting Carl, and he can have a DevOps skin.
Hold on. If DevOps Man is dead, you can fucking appreciate DevOps Man and respect him by remembering his fucking name.
Oh yeah, no, DevOps Man was a damn Chad, but he's still DevOps Man.
That's so disgraceful, Loz. I'm so disappointed in you.
Are you disgracing DevOps Man?
No, I remember Vesso's name.
That's not his name.
That's his name.
His name is DevOps Man.
Moving on.
Who would win, a Warframe or a magical giant moose?
What the fuck? The moose, because it's in a room.
Trick question. Normal moose are danger enough to kill a Warframe dead.
I said moose. What the fuck, Nazar?
You said magical giant moose, whereas the normal moose is what the answer
No.
is.
It's a room with a moose. If you get the reference, points to you. If you don't, negative points.
There's a moose loose about this house.
Moving on.
You get that reference?
No.
You didn't get negative points. Eternalist Day, the new Warframe preview was designed by comic artist and game dev for the Darksiders games, Joe Mad. The internet is having a wild time wondering how this new frame could work. Could you think of some ideas without once mentioning, passed in this question, the word werewolf? Yeah. It'll have an ability that is useless on the one that will do something like swipe forward, and it'll like move forward a bit by going rah 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 rah. Then there'll be like Spirit Wolf, which will like make more Spirit Wolves fly around it. Then it'll have another ability which is like Pounce Maul, where you moves forward and jumps at one enemy, and then it'll have like Exalted
the shreds.
Exalted Wolf, where it'll.
No, I'm thinking like you know how dogs can sometimes get like super excited and they get someone like their owner's shoe and they start freaking the like flicking the shoe and then round in their mouth like constantly, and the shoe just sort of falls to pieces. Like that's the ultimate. So the wolf just like nabs someone and
it just grabs the nearby ally's Warframe's leg, rips it off, and just nas it.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually like it if the player was still attached and then just like flying around ragdolled.
Eternus Thay also says the name of the next Warframe,
Styanax,
comes from a shortening of the Greek legendary figure Astyanax. However, the main story of it, Astyanax, is not very encouraging. He was supposedly killed as a child when the Greeks took the city of Troy, thrown from the walls. Conflicting legends say that while he survived, he didn't actually have many great feats, and it's only in modern literature that the writers did a "what if he survived" story with any depth. This gives us two possibilities. One, DE just chose a name they liked from a list of Greek legends names and will make abilities based around standard Greek myths, or two, DE actually have planned abilities around the legends of Aztec survival with decoys or body doubles and his feat for killing the giant king Agranor. Which do you think is more likely?
I think they're going to base it on Leonidas.
I think he's going to have a 1, which will randomly do nothing and stab forward a bit. He'll have a 2, which randomly stabs forward and makes him move.
Okay.
He'll have a 3 where he'll put up a buff shield.
Let me do the 4.
And you do the 4.
The 4, right, is a kick where behind the opponent a giant pit appears and he just kicks them down until they fall into forever.
And he says, "This is a Warframe" every time he casts it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, that is it for the supporter questions. Now we go to community responses. And I remember when I did these, there's a lot of great comments on this week's episode. And I was like, I'm going to do a lot of these. And I'm going to go through the episode and be really succinct so that we get on to better time on these. Looks at clock. Oh dear, no. Right, moving on. Peter Graver from last week. Topic 1. Incomprehensible tangent achieved. Yes, no, yes, yes, no. I'm not sure. Yes, no. How we know this show is not scripted. Lol. Genuinely easiest fix for the AoE meta. Line of sight damage only and high damage fall off. Put a maximum AoE range for explosive weapons, 10 to 15 meters maximum. Also reduce visual clutter on other player screens. Just saying, you want the AoE meta dead, that's the quickest way.
I think the quickest way is self-damage.
Wow, Xeno, with the underhanded insult, or they could just be a console player. The device is irrelevant, it's down to the skill of the player. I know that was the off the cuff, but it seemed a bit of a snide comment.
Yeah, console players have a massive upper hand.
Okay, yeah, let's see. King of Gaming. It sounds like the only reason you hate having crit and headshot.
Hold on. I'm going to point out, right?
You got plenty of things to point out.
I have no issue with players playing the game on console. If I was going to play with a controller, I would want a hand me out, right? Because seriously, I can't do it. I have a mouse and a keyboard for a reason. I'm a scrub when it comes to controllers. I spent how much money did I spend on this thing, Loz? The Steam controller.
My brother got it for Christmas for me.
Oh, son of a bitch. I can't remember how much I spent on this. Really, and the only reason I bought it is because of this one-to-one trackpad.
Yeah, it's
right?
Lovely.
I could use it like a mouse.
I really wish they would have optimized getting the bloody thing programmed because it's just too freaking complicated.
It is quite complicated.
That is a peak of technology. It really is the best controller ever made I've ever played with. But you go, right, oh yeah, I'm playing it, but it would just be really better if I put these buttons here. If this trackpad was like this, and you try and alter that in the software, and you're like, you just lose the will to live.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that they gave the players a lot of control over it, but it really could have done with a basic version and then a button in the corner that says go to advanced things so that you could simplify it. And instead you're just like, oh, I just know if I could commit to it and put the time effort in, it'd be the most amazing thing to play with. But they just...
But console players do have a massive advantage.
Yeah. I'm just going to sit to a sideboard actually, which I forgot to mention. Grey Archon. Xeno says he used the Tonko for the longest time and did not encounter self-damage. The Tonko didn't deal self-damage for a long time until 2017. That's why it was OP back in the day.
Yes, however, when the Tonko started doing self-damage, I was continuing to use it. And I continued to use it up until, I don't know, probably Probably really recently when I started using the Spore Laser instead.
I like your reply you gave me on Discord of, that's wrong, I call wrong, wrong, you can't handle the truth.
That was my response.
Deary me. Right, moving on to King of Gaming. It sounds like the only reason you hate having crit and headshots is because it doesn't make sense. Removing it won't solve anything. Not to mention that Warframe isn't the only game to do this. It's just a game mechanic that most people don't have a problem with. Hitting an enemy with the sun or 18 bullets to the head doesn't kill, yet this is where you draw the line.
No, this is not where I draw the line. Like, I mean, God, do you remember The Division? Yeah. Where you had to pepper someone with like 18 clips.
But he's wearing a metal plate on his face. Yes, that means my machine gun, which is now unloading clips, 60 rounds per... Sorry, magazine. My 60-round magazine into his face. Oh, no, but you have to shoot the small box on his back. Why? So when I have bullets the size of my fingers fired at an incredible rate of speed. No, you got to shoot the bullet box on his back. Ah, the box on his back, you say? Right. God. Let me put it with my tiny pupil pistol, which has bullets the size of my fingernails. Oh, look, now he dead.
Yep. Oh God, no. There's so many systems I have issues with. I'd love to know what other like first-person or third-person shooter games exist with locational damage and crit damage as Loz blows into his microphone.
Sorry, my apologies. Oh, it's a long day. Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I want to take a point for this of just because another game does it or doesn't do it doesn't matter. It's Warframe, not the other game.
Yeah, yeah.
I expect better from Warframe, and I don't get it because it's like, so this crit, there's like crit chance and crit damage, and then like, this critted on the head.
Crit works.
Yeah, but this had this does a double crit, but had more crit damage, even though it double critted. But then this gun didn't double crit, but it had a lot more crit damage. Then what the hell is going on?
How does double crit
mathematics.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. I just don't like it. I just think it's too simple. It's just too complex. I would like a more simplified system. I'm finding this a lot of games these days, and maybe it's because I like to play a little bit of every game, and so I don't go total ham with one game, and thus I don't appreciate the maximality that I can get from it. It's not.
Here's a question for you: should you be able to get 100% crit chance?
What does that even mean?
Well, every shot you take, every bullet hitting the enemy hits a vital weak spot.
Okay.
But should you be able to get 100%? Like, logistically, should you be able to get 100% crit damage?
I don't know. I don't understand what that means anymore.
Well, like, I always shoot you in the ephemeral artery, right? Like, no matter where I shoot, like,
your entire body is just made of ephemeral arteries. Yeah,
exactly.
I get it. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Moving on.
Bleeding out everyone.
Stefan Trajovic, really good post explaining that. Oh, sorry, no. So Stefan Trajovic gave us a really good post that explained about the AOE meta and that there's an arcane apparently that if you jump, every time you get a kill, it resets the jump.
Yeah.
So you can just basically fly through the air, increase your glide time, put mod for that, and then you stay in the air all the time, and you literally carpet bomb your way through the level. And so they don't need to have sure-footed because they can't be knocked down because they're not on the ground.
I don't know if I could do that.
Yep. Also, self-damage AoE isn't affixed. A full armor modded Valkyr with Umbral Former for HP armor and Warcry strength, 224%, can't survive the damage of AoE weapons. And? I don't get this. I don't know this reply. It's like, but even the most toughest of Warframes push to the absolute... It's still Stefan Trajovic.
Okay, say it again.
So it's basically a very long post, which I don't want to do the whole thing, but it's a very good post. Very good post. But there's this one point I go against, which is it says about like correcting the AoE meta and AoE damage. It says self-damage AoE isn't a fix, as full armor modded Valkyr with Umbral Former for HP armor and Warcry strength at 224% can't survive the damage of AoE weapons.
That's the point.
Yeah,
like that's. You want to reduce people using, like, here's a question, right? do you want the AoE meta to go away or not?
Well, I don't think
Right?
people do, and so that's not a question they're going to answer because people just are okay
No,
with
no,
it.
no, 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 no. Answer it to yourself,
I
right?
don't. I want it to go away.
Listen. Yeah, I want it to go away. Loz wants it to go away. If you want it to stay, if you want the AoE meta to stay, then it should stay as it is. And there's no problem with your opinion, right? Just because we don't agree with you
Yeah.
doesn't
Oh
mean
yeah.
that your opinion's any less valid,
Yeah.
right? Much like the whole comment about controllers, like, playing on consoles, right? You are no less valid playing Warframe just because you're playing on a controller or a console, right? Just want to make that super clear. With this, if you don't want self damage to come back because you want to keep the AoE meta, that's fine, right? But you've got to understand that it is hurting the game,
Yeah.
right? Because players are not continuing to play it. People are bored of walking around nuking shit.
Yeah. But I'm
Yeah.
also the point I'm trying to get at though is that they're like, oh, but if I have this absolutely tough tanky frame, if I still shoot a rocket and hits the ground, it does so much damage it still kills me. I'm like, and you're not supposed to be able to out tank it. I mean, maybe there's a few abilities that might let you do it. Let's say like invincibility or something. Fair enough, but you can't be like, oh, but my mad damage isn't being beaten by my arm percentages. I'm just like, if in a real war, another thing that people brought up is like, oh, but if an ally gets in the way, yeah, in a real war, if I shoot a rocket launcher at a tank and a guy gets in the way and it's not a rocket, if it's a rocket which instantly arms, I know that somebody like, but what you'll actually find is the rockets don't prime themselves until they're actually 1 foot above the target. Yeah, let's just say you had an old school World War II rocket launcher. Panzer Faust, I don't know, rocket launcher. And then you shot it and your ally stood up in front of you and they're 1 meter in front of you and explodes on them, yes, you're going to take damage. It's Warframe, it's war. And yes, there's a question later about ally damage. I think we should have game modes with it. If there was enough game modes with friendly fire, people wouldn't troll and would get used to it. I think it's because it's such an extreme rarity.
Didn't the Division have friendly fire?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or at least in some modes, some parts.
You had to be super careful with that. You couldn't just
remember.
running. I swear it did. You couldn't run in gun blazing because otherwise, if you hit your friend, I can't remember if it was like if it reflected the damage to you, or
I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, moving on, more point. Point being, so still Stefan Chojovic's next point. Point being, meta arrives from the need for optimization and efficiency. There will always be an Ember issue that needs to be addressed. Ability abuse resulted in nullifier, and CC abuse resulted in improved expert units. We simply need an arbitration drone. Please make it bigger than for regular missions that stops AoE damage until it is dealt with. Just for the love of God, don't make a Nox again.
I'll be honest. Like you put in an arbitration drone in, and I will instantly stop playing. Oh, wow. I hate arbitrations. I refuse to do them. Like I remember, was it Nazareth streaming the other day?
Okay, I know you hate arbitrations. Okay, we call it the AoE drone.
No, still, I hate it. I hate it.
I hate it.
You are carpet making everything immune. You are not fixing the underlying problem. You are adding another band-aid on top, right? This is why I have said for the last couple of weeks we need to redo the damage system, because the damage system is overly complicated and overly powerful and things, and it just gives you the opportunity to have such crazy builds. Not going to go into that whole spiel again. There was one point that they raised. Can you repeat what they said?
Point being, meta arises from the need of optimization and efficiency.
Right. It's not the need for, right? It's the human condition to desire the easiest path of resistance, right? You want the least path of resistance because otherwise you don't want to do it, right? So when you're traveling to work, you take the easiest path to get to work, whether it not be, I could spend an hour and a half on a train, or I could ask a friend to pick me up and spend 30 minutes in a car, right? And get door-to-door service. You look for the path of least resistance. That is just the human condition, right? We don't actively seek the
more complex route. Moving on. EGS cross insanity. Personally, the oversimplification of elements shouldn't be to the extent that you guys discussed. I love the mixed elements, albeit some need help to be made more interesting, like magnetic per se. Make it a small grouping stats that allows you to deal extra shield damage. Granted, all of these subunits with their separate resistances would be a problem if we already didn't have enough damage to completely bypass this system. Either it's immune or dead, no in between nowadays. However, if we make a better tutorial system, introducing the elements and their functions would help with the complexity. Say for instance more push towards the codex and the videos of each status made, as well as links to community resources.
I disagree with that because we had the question some time ago where we asked people how do they get their information, and everyone just said like, I just got it from a YouTube video to use viral and heat or viral and something else, and that was it. They just look for, again, they don't want to do their homework. I get it, right? Whenever I'm doing my work, I just look for like, what's the solution? I don't care what how to get to that point. Just give me the solution. Right, I've got too much stuff to get on with. So I don't think tutorials are the solution at all in this instance. I feel that, and I do agree, right? I think we did oversimplify it far too much, right? Going the whole Pokemon route and things like that. But there does need to be a damage 3.0 system at least.
Trex Paddock. If we're going to have self-damage, we should also have friendly fire. Change my mind.
No, I agree with you.
Yep, same. Shrike Roy.
If you had friendly fire, then it instantly become players would have to work differently. Then AoE weapons will become rare. It might be a case of they stay super powerful, but then people coordinate better. So they take friendly fire, but no one breaks the front line. Sorry, everyone takes explosive weapons, but no one breaks the front line.
Fair. Shrike Roy. Xeno's opinion on location-based damage plus crits is pretty silly in my opinion. Firstly, I'm not sure he knows what he's talking about because crit chance has nothing to do with headshots. Only crit damage does, and he throws around both terms. At the end of the day, bullet in head equals more damage. Is he saying that higher skilled accurate players shouldn't be rewarded, and we should stick with the brainless point interaction and shoot meta that he says bores him so much?
No, personally, I like the locational damage more. However, it doesn't.
No, what he's talking about, because crit chance has nothing to do with headshots. Yes, it does, because, right, I shoot gun at chest, it does 1 damage. I shoot gun at head, it does 3 damage. I shoot gun at chest and it crits, it does 2 damage. I shoot gun at head, it does 6 damage, because you've shot the locational damage and then that was a crit bullet. If I got a normal headshot, it does 2 damage. If I got or 3 damage. If I get a crit in the head, it does 6 damage because it has criticaled in the weak point. Yes, that is stupid. That is more to it. And if you haven't, go shoot some targets. Those things do stack.
Like,
if they don't, I'd be shocked because I'm pretty sure they do.
Like, here's a real life example. If you've got a bulletproof vest and you fire a pistol at it, right? How can you fire the pistol in such a way that the bulletproof vest takes more damage? Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Was it that they randomly, some of the bullets are made better? Sometimes when it impacts it, it just melts away. It's just so weird. Correct us if we're wrong, because it's the story I know. Critical stuff was designed for D&D for when people are role-playing and they're discussing a player who's like, I swing my mace at the goblin. And it's like, right, well, how do we determine if the person has just hit the goblin just randomly, or they've actually hit them in the ghoulies, or hit them on the head? It's like, how do we determine that? Oh, there's a chance that they managed to get a good hit, and that is a critical. And that's just expanded from there. That is my understanding of it. If I'm wrong, fair enough, but that's where I know it from.
That's the earliest I know it from. Is from Dungeons and Dragons to simulate
hitting the critical areas.
No. It's the chance thing.
Right? Well, no. It's because the chance of because in a melee you can't really. You're always trying to hit in a critical thing, but if you manage to achieve it. But the thing is, when you've got a shooter, you can point at the critical areas. You don't need to have a chance of getting the critical area.
The only time that you can't really aim at it is when the aiming device becomes a lot harder, right? So, for example, I don't know if you know this, but like console players on average have a higher chance of getting a headshot than they do like a torso shot, because they just have to aim in that general area, and the aim assist will actually pick it up and carry it forward.
Yeah, because it promotes trying to give you the headshots you want rather than aiming for body shots. It'd be annoying if you're trying for the head and it just pulls it to the body all the time. This is backed up by Peter Graver, though, saying, I do find it funny when people complain but contribute to the problem. I apologise in advance if this may rustle some jimmies, but spore later there, Xeno. Blech.
No, I completely agree. 100%. I completely agree.
Blech.
You are completely valid, but I am of the opinion that if everyone uses AoE meta, DE will actually do something about it.
Cool.
Right?
Last two. I think in the future I'm going to reduce this, but there was a lot this week, so I wanted to get through them. We didn't have a lot last week. Durf Anyo concept got... Sorry, this is King of Nightmare. Durf Anyo concept got already incorporated into the game. The Scrambush units are the descendant from the Durf Anyo concept. I don't remember which one, but it was recognised, talked, and discussed in a dev stream at some point. Didn't want to implement it yet because it was still the period when they were working on the Nef Anyo rework. That never saw the light of day, and so they made the Scrambush units just to give something to the player base.
Fair.
Yeah, I wish they... That I didn't know that was true, but that does make sense because it's like they just chucked out the Scrambush. They needed an event. They were awesome when they came out. It was already, they put a lot of effort into them. And it's like they went, and there's Scrambush now. Like, come on. And the last one is Zerugal. I watched the footage, LOz. Also, you need some better fashion on your Titania. The colours just don't jive. Also, maybe a cape or some shoulder pads would be nice. Calling you out, yo. Oh yeah, there's that. I actually chose those colours to be horrible so that it was different from the energy colour, so I could see golden, whatever it is, easier.
Golden Instinct?
Yes, because I had the new skin, which is all like energy wings and things, and it puts a big ring around you and you have to see where the ring's going. It was hard to spot. So I went for the old premium skin and then made it look horrific so it looked different. So there we go. That's why Naz is... it's not, sorry. Zerugal. They designed it to be absolutely awful. That was on purpose. However, I also want to get from Zerugal. Zerugal called us out at the end of the episode. You got us so good, Zerugal. You got us.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Xeno says entropy, and then he says it's entropy, right? And you can see the deadpan look on my face. I'm just looking at mods or something on the.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yep. It's like, no, it's atrophy, not entropy. Thank you so much for catching us on a Zerugal. I know you've got our back. There we go. Right, that is it for these. Every week, very recently, I'm saying like, we're going to record this early, Xeno. We're going to do it before Colo. And then today, it was I completely failed. And now it's super late, and we are super tired. So I do apologise. Right, so moving on. Last few responses. We are. And we're just going to finish off, though, now with some memes. So everyone.
Oh, I need to get this open.
Now we can calm us down and end today with some memes. So these memes are from the r/meme frame subreddit. They are linked in the description, and there's also the secret meme of the week. So please do check them out. So first meme comes up. This one's going to be a bit small, so I'll be reading it out. Remember, the link is in the description. It says Grenier and Imperium debate. So that's the Imperium from 40k.
On the right, yeah.
So both are aggressively expansive, xenophobic, worship their monarchs as gods. They are a dying empire, rampant mutation despite best efforts, technologically stagnant. All neighbours loathe and fear them. Are the Grenier just the Imperium? Debate.
Wait. Hold on. The Imperium has what's called rampant mutation despite best efforts?
Yes.
Oh. There's so much I just don't know about 40k.
Oh, man. So in the 40k universe, if you mutate, you become... You basically... Yeah, there are mutants, because there's lots of... okay. Healthcare is not a thing. Random chemicals everywhere is a thing. Also, mutations are quite common, and one of the most common mutations is that people become psychers. And psychers are bad because it leads to... If they're not
Chaos?
dealt with, they become affected by the warp, and they can become a warp portal all by themselves.
A warp portal?
Yeah, a portal to the warp.
Oh my god.
Through which demons can invade planets.
Yeah. No, I understand what you meant.
That's why there's an entire infrastructure in 40k where people are monitoring and searching for psychers. And at the same time, those psychers are sometimes captured and then sent on ships back to Terra, because 1,000 of them a day need to die to keep the Emperor running.
The psychers?
Yeah, 1,000 psychers a day are fed to the Emperor to keep him running.
Jeez.
They're called the black ships. They just run continuously gathering mutated people that are psychos up. If they're too unstable, they'll just get killed outright. But if they're good, then they probably get recruited either into the Imperial Guard. It's not the Astra Militaria, stupid names, or maybe even if they're lucky, recruited to be Space Marines. But most of them will just be like weak psychers, and then they'll be just fed to the Emperor every day. 1,000 people a day fed to the Emperor.
Wow.
Grimdark. Anyway, meme number 2. Let's go for some memery.
Okay.
Some heavy memory. Right, Warframe, more like war crimes. Some Warframe players, but are we the good guys? Warframe players, every time they see a mod that can cause 2% more suffering on a poor Grineer.
Oh my god. Oof. Yep.
Okay, now I'm afraid we had several of these, so I'm going to pull a Nazareth this week.
Okay.
First meme. I remember when Chroma was the master of elements. Lavos Chroma. He does exactly what I do, but better.
Oof. Oh my god.
You can take this format one of 2 ways. So is that Mesa and Zaku?
Yes.
They do exactly what I do, but better.
Yep.
Then we move on to meme number 5. I made Hydroid today to see if he was as bad as people said. They weren't wrong. Warframe players, you are without doubt the worst pirate I've ever heard of.
But you have heard of me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And final meme of the week. You usually go one way or another, but that's not what one would expect from a healer. Trinity. I'm a healer, Warframe. Newcomer. So you must have low HP and damage output. Well of life plus link plus blessing plus energy vampire plus 10 viral procs. You have low HP and damage, right?
I also like the fact that they swapped them around.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. I didn't know there was an inverse of the meme, and I think it's just so good.
Yep.
Right, that is it for the memes. We're now going to move on to the last bit, which is the community shout-outs of the week, which are images Xeno has found from Twitter of people's lovely work in the world of Warframe stuff. Digital art and people, human art or physical art.
As Loz hits the button to say community shout-outs.
Oh, I did that, didn't I? Oh, I did not count. Oh, God.
I don't know, probably. Anyway.
I pushed it.
So the first community...
I'll push it again.
Fine. It's a community shout-out. The first community shout-out. The studio by POW.
Compile them into one image because they look nice. Also, I get to use an old artist logo that's collecting dust. This will also be the last Warframe stuff for a while. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. So good.
It's so good.
The second community shout-out is Sevagoth by Belvo W.
Oh, that needs to be a comic book cover.
Or a poster.
Or no, I did comic book cover. It's almost like he's daring you to read the comic.
Fair. Would the comic be titled Call of the Tempestari?
I have no idea what it'd be called.
Fair enough.
Might be called A Competent Quest.
The third community shout out is Oro Worm Loden by Ibumuk.
I feel this is like there's like an inspiration for this.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be that one with the giant guy with the sword. I don't know, but I just feel that there should be that seems to be inspired by something. Right, moving on.
The fourth community shout out is Cora Prime by Federation.
One of my favorite girls. That's what it says.
Yep.
It's awesome.
The fifth community shout out is Grenier Manic Backpack by Sasha Glaven.
Not to spam this one prop, but I'm so happy with it. Lol. That is really nice.
Yep. There are multiple images on this on their Twitter, and it looks absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
There's no way I could not include this.
I assume we're getting a Manic cosplay sometime next year.
Or something like that. Yep. And then the sixth community shout out is Penumbra and Aethris, Skin Concepts by Plickit Plickit.
Personal fan deluxe skins concept for my drifters.
Yep.
It's cool.
I love those.
Boobs.
As Loz points it out. Right, so
well, I can't say crotch. He doesn't have he's hiding it with a cape, so boobs.
Anyway, that is it for this week's community. Sorry, the community. Fuck. That's it for this week's episode of 10 o'clock.
Where's
Thank
buttons?
you very much.
There's a button.
Thank you very much, everyone. Where's the supporters?
I don't know.
Did you break it? There they are. Thank you very much, everyone. Well, they are shy. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening / watching. And remember, everyone, like, you're entitled to your own opinion. We don't necessarily have to agree with you, but we're definitely not going to shoot you down for it.
No, everyone's entitled to their opinions and their ability to reply to other people's opinions. So people can call us out and say we're raging idiots, and we can call other people out and say we respectively disagree. No, Loz. We're stupid raging idiots. We are stupid raging idiots, but we also respectfully disagree, but also agree with some points. And then we love the discussion, because it's a discussion, not an argument, just a discussion. It's cool. Ideas should meet. That's something. Yeah. Should we say goodbye now? I'm too tired to say. I'm overtired. Bye, guys. Bye, everyone. See you next week.